It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
You said it, Dick. And hey, just like the old days, right? Dick, okay, was saying there was an error there. Everything okay? Everyone hear me, see me? Sorry about that. If there was, let me know. Hey, just like the old days, when Dick was calling the games, right? Habs win Saturday night. You friggin' you could book it just about every Saturday night. What a team! What a team effort tonight. 4 goals. It's about time they beat a team by 4 goals. Starting to finally get that goal differential a little, a little more indicative of what their record is, right? Because, if you're playing 750 hockey, usually you're not, your goal differential isn't basically even. But hey, it's nice to see them get a decisive win tonight. Utah, hey, it's tough. It's tough being on the road like that, and Western team doing an Eastern swing, and by the time you're in Montreal and you've already played 3 or 4, it's not easy. So they didn't look like they had their legs necessarily the second and third period, and Montreal just kind of ran away with it. But for people that first tuning in, I don't know if you knew or whatever, but Dick Irvin does the soundbite at the start now. And hey, anyone of my vintage, anyone 50 plus, Dick was the guy. I can remember listening to my radio under the pillow when they're on a Western swing, because if Mom heard the radio at 10, 11 o'clock at night, it was, hey, or at midnight, I'd be listening to it, and Dick Irvin, calling the games. And I'd always make it to the end of the second period, and I'd say, okay, this time I'm staying up. And I'd always wake up about 3 a.m. with the crackle of, back then the radio stations would, sign off in the mornings, and all you'd hear was the crackle of the radio and have to turn it off. But Dick Irvin, just a great man, and I'm so glad that Liam got him to do an intro. But enough about Dick. Let's talk about this game. Rick's going to be joining me in a few minutes. I just asked him. It was kind of a spur of the moment. I didn't know if I was going to be getting to do this in time, but the young lad's doing some gaming, trying to Eternal something or other. He's trying to qualify for a big tournament. So you can thank him for letting me get in here at the last minute. But hey, it was tight. Yamamoto started things off, and we thought, here we go again. Veleno kind of lost his man. Anderson turned the puck over. Monty, it reminds me of the start of last year too, when he let in that first shot just about every time. Mind you, I don't understand why it was only counted as one shot. He kicked the rebound out of a shot, and then the shot went in. So I haven't had math class for a few years, but where I come from, that's 2 shots. Anyway, didn't help the save percentage there, but Oliver Kapanen, 6th of the year. You know what? Kapanen's on pace for 33 goals. The last rookie center, like you gotta remember that rookie centers don't normally get a huge role. It's just so hard to come into the NHL as a rookie and play at the level that Kapanen is. In the last 15 years, one rookie has scored more than 30 goals, and that was Austin Matthews. One rookie center. And Kapanen, I'm not saying odds are that he's not going to score 33 goals or, hit 30, but hey, I didn't expect him to be up to 6 at this point. He's playing well. And then he added an assist too later. But Kapanen tied the game up early. Nice play. He good give and go, and Demidov picked up another assist. Gross made it 2-1 the second period. Cole, goal, Caulfield, leading the league in goals now. I would assume. I haven't looked at the overall standings, but people can fill me in on that. He's up to 12. Alex Newhook, of course, made it 4-2. You know, the whipping boy from last game made up for it with a couple more points. Caulfield with the 2 goals. Sorry to make it 4-2 then. Suzuki 5-2. Dach with the late one. Hey, we'll take it, right? Shots on net. Hits were 25-22. Penalty minutes were even. Giveaways 16-12. Block shots, Montreal 13. Utah 11. Takeaways 4 apiece. You know, it was just a solid all-around effort. I liked how they played. A couple of hiccups here and there, but let's bring in the man himself, Mr. Fuzzy Zeller. You're fuzzy again there, my friend. Check your there you go. Ooh, too clear. How's it going, Rick?
Very good, Grant. How are you tonight?
Well, wait until you're here, my friend. It's a tradition now. Cheers. Oh, got out the scotch or the whiskey or whatever.
Auchentoshan, my friend. 12 years. That's my my drink of choice at night after Habs win.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Like, wow. Team is playing well. You know, the team is rolling lines. Everybody's contributing tonight again. You know, the top line was the top line, but you know, the Kapanen line did really well. The Dach line did really well. Even the Evans line didn't do so bad. I thought they could have. They drew a lot of penalties that the referees decided not to call for some reason. But you know, they did their job. They played well, and they forechecked hard. Said, you know, they could have had a few penalty calls go their way. They didn't. And you know, how about Jackie's game? He played really well tonight, Grant. Good puck decisions. Played the body effectively. Even in the third period, 1-on-1 against Logan Cooley, and he held his ground. Good gap, put him onto the side, and moved the play forward.
Yeah.
Just a solid game all around, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm surprised Liam's not on here gloating, but yeah, no, good game, good game for Jacki tonight for sure. No real, like, you know, hey, you saw Jared Davidson Friday night, and we'll talk about that more tomorrow. All right,
Yep.
And see if you know, Mr. Veleno kind of lost his assignment again on that first goal, and still without a point right this season. Hey, might be time to call somebody up and give somebody a look on that third line. I don't think it would hurt, right?
I see your point on that one, and I agree. I mean, not that Valeno's played terribly bad, but he is what he is. He's a 12, 13 forward in this league. There's a reason why you know, Detroit traded him to Chicago. Chicago moved him to Seattle, and Seattle decided not to sign him. He's not, you know, that's what he is in the NHL, and maybe there seems to be a bit of a lack of chemistry right now with Evans and Anderson, and maybe getting somebody else in there might be a good idea. And he knows what he understands that that's what it is in the NHL, right? It's, if you're not in the top 3 lines, often you run the risk of having to skip a game here and there, and maybe that would be a good idea to get just to get Evans and Anderson going too, because they're not playing terribly, but they seem a little off right now, especially I think Anderson a little bit. He's holding the stick tight. It's really hard for him offensively to sustain pressure right now, and maybe having somebody else on that line that could feed off him and might be a very good idea in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think he was terrible tonight, but you know, that line needs to start contributing a little more offensively. I mean, they had that one game recently, but their stats for the amount of ice time they're getting, they need to be contributing a little more offensively. And Veleno got a great opportunity in the slot, got the puck. He just doesn't have much of a shot. His shot's not very hard. He's not a goal scorer. Never has been a goal scorer, and unfortunately, that's something he never developed, was a hard shot. I like the way he skates. His effort's been there, but they signed him as a spare forward, and I'd like him to go back to being the spare forward, right? That's where he's best, is to be not to play 10 games in a row when somebody gets injured, or not at this point anyways. He's had 11 and he hasn't got a point, so his defense is okay, but there's just not enough. He's pretty vanilla, and I think bring in a guy like Davidson, who's got a great shot, who will score some goals if given the opportunity. I'd like to see him get a look, and we'll expand on this more tomorrow. But
absolutely,
we'll talk about the Laval game and all that good stuff. But let's have a quick look at the standings here now after this game. No, it's too bad they blew that one to the Devils. They'd be all alone. They'd be all alone in first place in the NHL right now. They're a point up on Colorado, so they're second over. They're tied for first overall with New Jersey, and Pittsburgh. They're still hanging in there. They lost, but in overtime, 21 points. It's tight up there, and Boston, 5 straight wins. Like, what the hell is going on? They have to be the surprise right now, Boston and Pittsburgh in the East.
Yeah, and I think no, I don't fall. I know Boston has lost a few players. Elias Lindholm, I think, is out for a little bit, and they're plugging around, and I'm not sure how they're doing it. They don't have a ton of prospects in the minors that could come up and play well. Mind you, they always seem to find somebody in the 6th round that surprises. But yeah, Boston is playing. But sometimes maybe the new coach, right? New coach, new attitude. It always seems that every team that has a new coach kind of gets that spark going for a bit, and it may not be sustainable. But good for them. I mean, they're playing well and getting their wins and playing with a little bit of swagger, from what I could tell. The little bit I've seen of Boston, they're discovering that little bit of a spark, and trying to be in opponents' faces, and it seems to be working right now. How long will that go for? I don't know.
Yeah. Let's have a quick look at the stats. Hey, Matheson, 2203. I like to see that. I like to see him down below 25. I think Marty was talking about managing his ice time better, and maybe that was one of the things maybe that he wanted to Demidov a bit back further up. Hey, 2 more minutes in Veleno. Okay, good. Because last game it was switched around the other way. And I never want to see Veleno getting more ice time than our boy Demidov. Sorry, it just doesn't compute for me. Bolduc, 15 minutes. That's okay. Glad to see him getting a little more time. And look, some of those minutes that Matheson were taken away by Jacky, I think 14 minutes. So, Marty was seeing what the rest of us were seeing from Arbor. He was playing a good game. So he said, okay, we're going to play you regularly in the 3rd pairing, right?
All right.
He got a regular shift, and like I say, he was pretty solid. +2 on the day. Gotta like it. Strub's 4 more hits. Jacky 4 hits. Those guys, Caulfield 3 hits. What can you say about Cole Caulfield? Eh?
Man. Every aspect of his game has just improved. And again, we talked about in a past show, Grant, when we were both scouting him and he was playing on the U18. Some of the aspects of his game that he's developed now, we never saw coming. I never thought he'd be a big back checker. I never thought he'd be engaged physically. he does those things. Yeah, maybe he'll miss a man here and there when he does on his defense, but there's an effort there, and he feeds off that, and the more he does that, the more he gets the ice time. And what you're seeing is the development of a complete player. His passing game's really underrated too. He moves the puck really well. He's not just a shooter. He's a playmaker.
Yeah.
And Slavkovsky the same thing too. He did some nice puck movement. He fed Suzuki on a very good one-timer, I think, in the second period that could have led to a goal, a really good play. So that line is such a handful. I mean, you got the speed, the shot, the puck movement. Boy, they're gonna force some opponents to really get nauseous on the ice there with chasing around a little bit there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Joe here, perfect time to trade Kapanen. He accumulates points playing with hot Demi Nui. Let's call him Brown 2.0 with Lemieux. Just pulling your leg, Grant. Yeah, I know you're not. You meant it. Okay, how do I ban this son of a bitch? What do I do here?
I'm not saying I saw steam come out of your ears, but I saw steam come out of your ears.
You know, I've got power here, eh? So be careful with your comments, folks. You can be gone like that forever. Gaza. I'm going to tear a strip off Gaza too. Get that one? You get it? Finally, a win when we are not hanging on to the edge of our seats. Yeah, Gaza, you got that right, my friend. And Michael, he's got it. He knows the program. Don't joke about Oliver Kapanen. Yeah, don't even look at him. Funny. Kapanen's 58.6% face-offs in the last 11.
Wow.
Hey, you gotta like that, right?
That's impressive. That is really impressive.
He did it all tonight. He just an excellent game from Kapanen. I thought he might get 3 or 4 points. Like he was really on his game. Just you could feel it like from the first shift tonight. His skating, it's the thing that's improved the most in his game over the last 2 years. I mean, I've always loved his IQ, his positioning, the way he thinks out there. Galley gave him lots of compliments tonight too. That was kind of cool. You know what I've noticed with Gary Galley over the past year? It's clued into him. Hey, if I'm going to cover this team, I better compliment them a little more. You know, he's getting better. I've found Galley's a little more tolerable there with his color commentary, I find. But
I really like Kapanen's shot placement. It's not necessarily the velocity of the shot, but he places them so well. It's always seems like it's often a foot off the ice on the blocker side. Those shots are murder for a goaltender to try to get to. And it's deceptive too a little bit. It's a little bit of like a wiry kind of a lot of upper body movement on the shot, I find personally. It just creates a little bit of havoc in the goaltender's mind, and he places it really at a nice. You know, you played hockey. I didn't really play hockey, Grant, but you did, but I did coach a little bit at the minor level, and I would tell the players a lot, like, don't aim for the top corner unless you know you could hit the top corner, because it's going to go over the net often, and you're going to miss it. Aim it a foot off the ice. That way, it'll go. If it goes a bit too high or a bit too low, you still get the puck to the net for an opportunity, and that's what I think Kapanen does well. He places the shot in an area where, even if he misses it, it's a shot on net at least, and then you never know what happens.
Yeah, no, that's well put. Mark, Dach finding his way. If he stays healthy this year, he'll be a force. I'm really liking his progress. Yeah, I think he's slowly but surely he's rounding into shape. You know, that goal. Hey, I'm just glad he's getting these goals, you know, like the one that bounces off and the one at the end of the game there. That he's got that nice move. He's used that before and just missed and also scored on it, where he's got such a long reach, and he's got good hands. He's a good stick handler. So that's something, that it's one of the reasons why he was such a high pick. He's just really good puck control, really good with the puck. When his skating is up to par, and I think it's like before his injury, his skating was fine for his size. You know, you see a 6'4" guy, and it's deceptive a lot of the time. You don't really realize just how fast they're going, because obviously the legs aren't moving as fast as the Cole Caulfield's legs are, right?
Right, of course, yeah.
You know, but he covers a lot of ground. He does. He is a good skater for his size. and slowly but surely he's getting back, his legs back. And hey, there, I said it last game, and I'll say it again. There's no rush to trade for a second line center. Two more goals. 3 last game, 2 more this game. Well, actually, no. The center's got 3 goals tonight. Center's got 3 goals last game, right? I don't see there being any rush whatsoever to be going after center unless it falls into her lap. But teams aren't trading their top 2 centers this time of year, especially when the standings are so tight, just about top to bottom, both conferences. Montreal MUFC, great to see Dach finally finding his stride. This is how he can make a name in the NHL. Yeah. Well, what do you think of Struble tonight? I thought he was pretty decent again tonight too.
Oh yeah.
Arbor's been better than Struble recently. Yeah, I don't know. Like recently, meaning what? His last 4 shifts or something. If that's the case, then yeah, recently for sure. I don't agree that Struble has been better overall than Jack-Eye this year.
Yes.
I don't think there's too many. Look at their ice time, and it's justified. But yes, I did like Arbor's game more tonight. Struble played 17 minutes, so clearly the Robida and company didn't mind how he was playing tonight. I don't think we had any passengers tonight. Slav really playing well. Hard not to be a Habs fan at the moment. See that back check from Slav there in the first when he came back, and he made a really, really good defensive play.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he does it all the time. He's eventually going to be on the PK, I think. That really, I can see him as he gets more and more accustomed to the NHL, the North American rinks, the pro game. He can just be such a force in his own zone, not just the offensive zone. Like he can knock people off pucks. He's one of the best shot blockers, if not probably the best shot blocking forward on the club. Last year, I think he led the team in shot blocks up front. And with the long stick and pretty decent hands, he can be a really good defensive player. We've already seen a lot of strides with his defensive game over the past year, and I think down the road, Slav's going to be a penalty killer and an effective one.
Yeah, when your star offensive players, your team leaders, and your line mates care about their defense, you got to care about your defense too. And Slav is feeding off that, and good for him. He wants to win, and if playing good defense is part of winning, he'll do it. He's got that mentality.
Yeah, for sure. Chris Hansen, Veleno needs to be waived. No, you need a 13.
No.
That's and then what? Call somebody up so they can sit in the stands? No, he's fine up in the stands. You can wave to him there. Wave to him in the stands, without the eye, right? Yeah. I believe he should be waived. He should be waved at sitting up in the press box.
No, he's a great extra forward to have because he could play center and he could play either wing. So you need that kind of player. You don't want a right winger being your extra forward, let's say, because you're kind of limited in what they could do in terms of Veleno. Like if you're really in a jam, you got a few injuries, you got to play him at center. You could play him at center, and you could play him on the wing. And he's a local boy, wants to play here. I mean, he's a great 12, 13 forward, and even for a few games, it's fine. I just think that line, maybe that fourth line needs a spark, and it might not be all on him, but that line needs a spark. So maybe calling up a player and getting that line going would be helpful. And then maybe it's just for a few games, and then you move Veleno back in, things settle a bit better on that line, and he plays some games. I have no problem with Veleno on the team as a 12, 13 forward, and I hope he sticks around for a while. I think, look, he took on a heavy opponent last game, right? And he took a bit of a beating, but he's showing that he wants to be part of the team, and he understands that it's a little bit limited his role, but he wants to do well. And keep a guy like that anytime.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy to have as the 12, 13, as you say. I would like them to call somebody up and have a look, but you still need that 13th forward, right? And no, that there's no use. I don't want them calling up, waving him, and then you call somebody up, and then he sits in the stands. Like, that's not developing him. So
Oh,
no, keep him on the team. He's not hurting the team a whole bunch. Yeah, he didn't play. He was a little late getting there for that first goal, but that rebound by Monty, that was not a nice. That was like kicked right
no.
out. You know,
Yeah.
he's got to be better than that. And you know what, he did tidy up his game again after that. I thought Monty was fairly decent tonight. That's good. That's good to see that he's he looks like he's coming around. And
Yeah.
I hope the next game though Dovish is back in. Tears are all wiped away and he's ready to go, right?
Yeah.
It's funny, like that doesn't surprise me, him being that emotional. I talked to his coach at Ohio State when he
Right.
was there, and he said, we've worked with Dobie on this, but he takes every goal personally, and it bothers him. And then when he lets in 4 and loses in overtime, clearly we saw just how much it bothers him, right?
Yeah.
He wears it on his sleeve. Not a typical goalie in that sense, like Carey wasn't like that, but there are all different types, and
Right.
he's competitive and he hates to lose, and that's actually not a bad thing at the end of the day. As long as you
No,
don't let it bother you during the game, that you let in a goal. And that's what I think the concern was with the Ohio State coach, that don't dwell on it during the game, right? And but I haven't found him. He's been excellent this year. That was the first minor blip really in the radar, and really he wasn't that poor in that game, right? I think you can't blame it on him. I mean, the
no, no,
breakaway,
no. And,
Newhook, Newhook should have been the one that was crying there, in the dressing room after the game.
yeah, I went a little bit on that one, but you've hung around with athletes, and then sometimes during, they can be very emotional during the game, and they get worked up, and then it kind of explodes that way. But I think people read too much into it, and you could tell by Marty St. Louis' reaction, right? He kind of said, he joked about it a bit, saying, yeah, you guys gonna go talk to Dobie, make sure he's okay. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna give him a big giant hug. And he kind of laughed it off. And he knows it's not a symbol or a symptom of a major problem. It's just people are very emotional. They get into the game, they want to do well, and they take it hard, and it's all right. It's, as you said, it's fine. As long as you don't get too down on yourself, even during the game. I mean, Bennington could be kind of an emotional player, but he's had a pretty good career doing that, right?
Yeah,
So
no, that's right.
I don't want to do the same things, but it's fine to be emotional at times.
Yeah. I just want to go back to the. By the way, if you're watching this on X, and I noticed there's like 1,200, 1,100. How many have viewed? It's crazy how many people are watching it. Join us here and chime in on the live chat. That would be great. Let's just Valeno. Somebody's saying here that he took 2 draws in the last minute and lost them both in his own zone. Just a little curious, like, I don't quite understand why Marty's relying on him so much. Like, I wouldn't have had him out in the last minute taking 2 draws.
No.
I don't know. I just I get his his work ethic and all that, but I don't know. I think the reason why he was out the last 2 minutes taking draws would probably be because the score was like 5-2, right? And if the score would have been 3-2 and they were just hanging on, I'd be a little
Right.
more upset about it,
Yeah, of course. It's an opportunity to get a guy going, and
Right.
and give him ice time. And yeah, no, I think you're right about that. I also think Marty does respect the veterans, and like a lot of
Yeah.
former players do, they kind of want to give a chance for an established NHL player to be the best they can be, and this is an opportunity to do it. Give him those minutes. Would like to see Kapanen take one or two of those face-offs and see how he reacts, because he is a player that's young and developing. But again, I go back to the same thing, right? For the first 20 or so games, he was a little bit didn't give the full reins to Lane Hudson last year. It took around 15, 20 games for Hudson to get on the first power play and to really run things offensively. And that's just the way he coaches. And I understand that. The team is still winning, players are still developing, and that's why I don't take it too seriously, or it doesn't concern me too much.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Michael Piet. I don't know if we've had a Michel. Sorry, Piet. Finally, some scoring depth. Good call on Captain and Grant. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for joining us, coming in here and saying good day. Everybody's welcome on the HabsCast live chat. Frederick C. The first shot, yeah, maybe that's true, was just going to cruise through the blue paint across. Monty kicked it on the way in the crease. Yeah, I guess maybe that's why it wasn't considered a shot on goal. That's a good point, Frederick. And that was, I don't know what Monty was doing there. You can blame Veleno for losing the check in front, but I mean, you can't blanket guys in front of the net 100% of the time. They're going to get open. The real poor play on that was Monty kicking the thing right out to the slot. Like it wasn't a good play on his end. You can blame other people, but if Monty doesn't do that, then it doesn't matter that for a split second there was a guy left with a stick unchecked in front of the net. Wayner, the only thing stopping Dach from being a top six is his health. Could be, I think right now, if he'd have been healthy the last 2 years, there'd be they wouldn't be asking, we need a second line center, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Kapanen keeps making a case for it, right? Like you don't have to. Sometimes the answer's right in front of your face. He's on pace for 33 goals now. Austin Matthews is the only rookie center in the last 15 years to score more than 28.
But at the same time, too, are we really, like, it's a bit nitpicking between second and third line in Montreal? Both of them are doing well. They're both getting good minutes. I think it's pretty close in terms of ice time given. Just be happy that they have a
Sure.
good top line, and whatever happens
Well,
game after game, and you just go take it as it comes.
Well, that's just it. We spend so much time. Geez, did you take another drink of your too many drinks and you
No,
getting blurry
it's
or
weird.
what?
I gotta put it, like, I had to take it out of the high def. It stopped. It went blurry when I was on high def, so now I'm back to a lower resolution, and it works better.
I don't know. Something
I
gremlins in
didn't
there.
touch anything. It just happened that way, right?
It's all good. Mark Cap was driving his line. When you have Demonov on your line and you're driving it says a lot. Yeah, he was skating tonight. He really had his wheels. And you know what, Alex Newhook, like after the last game, and we get emotional after a dumb play like that, and I get it, but you got to waive him or trade him. And you know what, Newhook has 12 points now, 6 goals, 6 assists. He's on pace for 64 points. Killing penalties. He's not perfect. But geez, he's playing well this year. He really is. And another nice goal. I don't like him on the power play. I'd rather have Kapanen out there on the second unit. Newhook, when you're in a stationary, like it's like when Paul Byron used to be on the power play. That's not where he creates his offense in
Right.
in one zone where you can't utilize your speed, and you utilize your vision and your thinking more. He's a reactionary player that feeds off of his speed and his forechecking. And there's not speed and forechecking aren't part of a power play. It's being able seeing the ice well, moving the puck well when you're stationary. That's not his game. I'd really rather see Kapanen on that second unit instead of Newhook. I hope, as Kapanen keeps scoring here and showing, hey, Marty, I've got offensive upside here, get me out here. He's really good in front of the net deflecting pucks, and I've seen him for 2 or 3 years in the various leagues that he played for. Does a lot of good things on the power play. I'd like to see him out there. I think there's even more offense that can be tapped with Kapanen down the road.
Yeah. He tends to be a real good passing option too for his line mates, right? He always seems to be able to find that little opening, get there quickly, and again, he's a puck moving option for his teammates. And I think Alex Newhook is not really that. He doesn't really, he doesn't take the game as quickly, if you will, or anticipates as quickly as Kapanen does. So I think you're spot on that. I love him on the PK because I think with his speed, he could create a lot of havoc and forces the opponent to move the puck quicker than they want to because he could pressure the puck carrier. But I think Kapanen in the power play makes more sense, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, they're managing his ice time to a certain degree, I guess, as well, right? With him being on the PK. Chris Hansen saving cap space by not calling someone up, I guess. Yeah. That's a possibility, but they've got lots of cap space right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know, at some point here, if Veleno still continues not to contribute offensively, and he's being burned for goals against, I think you have to not worry about the few $1,000s in cap space that you might be eating up by calling somebody up. But
right on.
Devin, Utah played a great game. Last 15 was horrible. Momentum was on Habs side. Yeah, the score wasn't indicative of the play. It was a tighter game than that. That's true, But I think the better team won tonight, and kudos to the Canadiens to score late and to run away with it. Jason Teal, Gallian, Veleno, and Anderson have been poor. Yeah. Well, Gally's in a bit of a funk right now. Not really noticing them a lot, and that's not usually the case, right? Hey, he'll have his ups and downs at this age. I think there'll be times when you don't see a lot from him. I don't know that Anderson's Gally's a goal scorer to a certain degree, and Josh Anderson's not a playmaker, it's safe to say. So no. I don't know that there's a necessarily an ideal fit as far as Gally getting going offensively there. I hope he gets a few more looks up again, and maybe gets a couple of goals, because we've seen it before with Gally. He can be streaky. Once he gets one, you'll see over a 10-game stretch, sometimes he'll score 6 or 7. So
right,
I hope that's what the case with him. Yeah, 35-25 for Cappy, tops among all rookies in face-off win percentage. Yes, hey, if you're above 50% on draws as a rookie center, but trust me, it's rare. There aren't many, and especially at 55, like Kapanen is, or thereabouts. That's really impressive, and yet another part of his game that there's a lot of pieces to his game, and when you put them all together, you can really appreciate how good a player he is. Rick, can you move your webcam back a bit so you're not so close up? Try to be even with Grant, please. Okay. Well, sure. All right. Paul, just move back. Just move your head back some.
I would like to, but like I'm a little bit limited in space at
Yeah,
home and
yeah, no,
my
he's.
setup. But we'll try to do a little better, my friend. No, I'll do my best.
How about I do this? No, you don't want me that up close. Um, the rush are on every time you come to Bell Center. You miss so many calls. Yeah, well, they won 6-2. We're not tonight. Let's not dwell on the refs like we have been quite a bit this season. We'll give them a break. We'll give them a break on tonight. Uh, how many shots did they end up with? Wavell saying it for a while. It looked like under 20 again. That's true, eh?
Yeah, I think they finished with 24 shots, if I'm not mistaken. Is that
Let's
right?
see here. 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24 shots. Yeah. Cappy tonight was he actually was 44%, a little under 50, but that's still fine. Anytime you're over 40%, especially as a rookie, that's fine. Maybe Primo will get KK going. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay. You're one more comment away from having a little rest there, Estee Nax or whatever your name is. Yeah, he got picked up again, but he's sent back to the minors, right? Like Carolina reclaimed Primo today, um, and sent him to the minors because no other team put in a claim. Shocking. Uh, they can send him to the minors. So Primo's back to the minors for what probably is the remainder of his career, I would think.
Yeah.
I think it finally dawned on teams that, hey, maybe this guy, when he gets called up to the NHL, isn't very good. We sort of figured that out. We figured that out in Montreal a long time ago, and
Right.
now some other teams. If his name wasn't Primo, I don't know that he'd even got another look, to be honest with it. But I think it's finally the NHL has finally come to terms with the fact that Caden Primo is just not an NHL goalie, and
Yeah.
it's too bad. At one point, we thought, here's the future number one. When Carey retires, it'll be Primo. But it just goes to show that, don't count your chickens too early on Fowler. Fowler, chickens. I just realized that as I
Oh
was saying it.
man.
I didn't even notice it till I was saying it. I honestly, that wasn't on purpose. But it, because, you just don't know. You don't know if a goalie till he's up to the NHL and he's played, and then you can get a good read. A guy can look great in college. He can look great. Devin Levi, he was lights out in college, right? And he's going to be a star in the NHL. Well, he's in the American League. You just don't know
No.
till they have come to the NHL, proven themselves, been consistent for a while, and then you can say, okay, that's the guy. But I mean, Fowler. How was Fowler the other night?
Oh, he was solid.
Yeah,
He played really well, tracks the puck really well. There's an economy of movement that I think is really reassuring. There's not a lot of chasing and not a lot of spectacular saves, just you know,
yeah,
puts the body in the front of the net of the puck and makes that save. And there's definitely a confidence, I think, with the defenseman around him that he's got it under control.
yeah.
There's nobody's running around
Well,
hoping that he makes a save. I think they're confident he will.
they were getting outshot there pretty good. I noticed at one point, and he kept them in, right?
Yeah,
Basically, he's
yeah,
yeah, for sure. And we'll talk about Reinbacher and a few of the other guys tomorrow on our
sure.
show. Um, I'm presuming you can join me in the morning tomorrow morning, and
Yeah,
we
I'll
can.
be ready to go tomorrow morning. No problem. Right before heading out to my favorite little shack. I'm going up
Oh, okay,
there
you're not going to
tomorrow
be doing
for.
it from the shack.
No, I'll be doing it from here, but I'm headed to the
Okay.
shack after that till Monday and watch some junior hockey from up there.
Oh, excellent. Kapanen. Okay, yeah, we keep getting this Sorry, guys, that's a repeat. Some people compare Suzuki to Bergeron, but I see him more as a comp to Giroux 10 years ago. What do you think? I don't know. There aren't a lot of guys that I can really compare Suzuki to. Like certainly not, completely. Suzuki's one of the smartest centers in the NHL. Like he's just he's so reliable, consistent. I mean, he doesn't have Bergeron's size, so I don't think that's an ideal comparison. But he's got a lot more playmaking and offensive. I mean, his stats. Bergeron was never an 80-point scorer, and Suzuki is going to be. Looks like he's going to be a 90-plus point scorer for the next 5-6 years. So I think he's
Suzuki's
got more.
An hybrid.
Yeah,
maybe a little hybrid, a little bit of this, a bit of that. Most players are a mix of different other players, right? It's rare that you got players that are like an exact replica. So I think there's a bit of this, a bit of that.
Well, if you take Giroux and Bergeron, put them together, maybe you've got you've got something similar to Suzuki. Who else seen Oliver Kapanen punch Dylan Guenther in the back of the head with 7 minutes left in the third period? Yeah. The guy with no intensity, eh, Michael? You starting to warm up to him, buddy? I hope so. We had a little chat about it last time. He was saying he has no intensity. Yeah, right on, Michael. I'm glad you caught it. He is, he's not soft. I think that can officially be put to rest. That Oliver Kapanen, somebody in the media started that, and people run with it and think, oh, well, because I'd keep seeing it on social media, and but he's soft. He's soft. Where's this coming from? And often it's somebody mentions it, and it gets it becomes a talking point when it's not true.
It's important to take players too for what they are. Look, he's not a bruiser exactly. No, he's not a. It's not his game. He's more of a cerebral player, a tactician, very intelligent. But you can't be everything. Like,
well,
you could be
at center. You don't want,
especially.
You don't want centers running taking runs at guys and taking themselves out of the play. The center of the ice is his kingdom, and you're not physical in the center of the ice very often. You're neutralizing. You're in the neutral zone neutralizing, and that his game is cerebral because he's a thinker out there. It's positioning, but when he goes to battle in the corners, he wins a lot of puck battles. He's very good and very very hard forechecker. Will go to the front of the net. Will take a beating. He's just not a soft player. It's a wrong term for him. Yeah, he's not out laying body checks. The entire game. Most centers, most two-way centers aren't. That's not. You don't want them being taken out of going for a big hit along the boards, whatever, and then leaving the middle of the ice open is not. It's not the smart thing to do.
Right.
It might excite the crowd, but it might also end up with a puck in your own net. DYT, that's a new name. Welcome. By the way, folks, 1,356 have tuned in. That's amazing numbers. Thank you very much. Please like this, go to YouTube, press the like button. It does us a world of good. Gets cornflakes on my table, maybe even a beer, the odd beer on my table. And maybe, Rick can buy another bottle of scotch down the road. If you if enough of you press like. And of course, you're always welcome to donate some cash too. There's a little button there. Donate cash. We accept cash too.
Absolutely.
Even write a check if you got, I'll give you my address. Send me a note. May Kapanen keep on going like he does.
Right on.
I hope so. Montembeault is battling back into games. Save percentage 926. There we go.
That's it.
I got to give Marty some credit for being patient with. He was the starting goalie, and you don't throw in the towel on a guy that's been your starter for 2-3 years, just because in the first 10 games he wasn't great. Yes, you give more games to the other guy, and that's what he's done. But you can't have Monty sitting on the bench for 2-3 weeks either. He had to play, had to get him out of it, and it looks like slowly but surely he's coming out of his net more. He's showing more confidence, I think, and a lot of it with goalies is mental. And if you throw him to the wolves, and if you lose confidence in a goalie that's got shaky confidence, he's only going to be less confident. So I like how Marty's been treating it, even if I don't, I would have liked to seen Dobish in nets again tonight.
Yeah.
And after he let in that first goal, I bit my tongue and said, "Oh boy, here we go again." But to Monty's credit, he's battled back the last two games, and after shaky starts, has played fairly well.
And that's got to pump up his teammates too, right? They're pulling for him, and they're seeing a guy battle and not crumble under the pressure, but fight back, and that's going to lift up the team too. I think that means something, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Your drink almost done there? Can you stay with us for a little longer?
I got another a few minutes, just and then I really got to get going because
Okay.
I got to finish doing what I was doing before. But yeah, I
Okay.
got a few minutes, and then I'll be good to go. And I'll have to let you finish off on your own, my friend, as you always do
Okay,
so
well,
well.
I won't. It seems to be a little bit of a love fest here, so I'll go for a little longer.
All right.
But yeah, I even brought down 2 beers. So
Oh, I only brought down one glass of scotch, and that's it for me, my friend. Not more than that.
I'm prepared. I actually, these are my first beers of the night, so I leave it for the celebration because I want to be at my best for HabsCast.
Yeah.
Between Kapanen and Dach, I'm actually okay with the centers. Yeah, well, you actually
Yep.
should be. Good for you, Stanix. That's better. See, we'll keep you around for a little bit there, my friend.
I'm still blown away a little bit at the fact that they have 4 right-handed centers. I don't know if that's ever happened. We asked Liam, the king of all knowledge and the king of all trivia, and he couldn't think of another team either that had that. So yeah, it's a different situation for the Habs that a lot of teams don't have, but hey, it's working.
Well, you can always tell when there's a newcomer here. Alfredo M. Grant, would you want Kadri? He has not been tuning into the show. That's safe to say.
And we welcome you anyway, sir. Please,
That's
please,
right.
we're happy to have you.
Thanks, Alfredo. Yeah. No. I think they're going to be okay without Kadri. I just don't like the ticket. The 3 years left on his contract. He's still a good player. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure that's the answer right now. The teams on top of the standings, the centers are all playing well. Right now, if the right deal comes along eventually here, and the price is right, okay, I think so. But Kat's got 3 years left, and you've got Kapanen and Dach playing well. You've got Jarosky, Hage in the system. They're, you're going to have to find a spot for them in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Then you've got this other center that by then, I don't know. I guess you could always trade him down the road, but
for me, it always comes to the same thing. If you're offering me Kadri, we gotta retain salary. Period. Like I'm not
well, you'd
interested in
have
8 million,
to.
right? So you
Yeah,
got to retain salary, and then
yeah,
I don't know what the offer is. It's always the same discussion. People say, "Would you be interested in this player?" Maybe, but you got to tell me what the offer is, right?
Right.
Kadri for a second round draft pick and a decent prospect. Well, with 50% salary retained, yeah, it might be a good deal. But no, Kadri
Calgary's not
for
going to do that.
right.
So
That's it. So tell me what the offer is. But yeah, there's got to be salary retained. There's no way I'm taking $8 million on
yeah,
Kadri. I'm not interested in that.
Ed, I appreciate I agree. I appreciate the stats you've been giving us here, Doc. 51% in his last 8 games. What
Wow.
I've noticed is they've had the better just about every game in the face-off dot for the last 10, and these are all showing that, right? So that's encouraging, right? That when the Canadians, that's been a Achilles heel for a long time, is just not winning 50% of the draws, and
Yeah.
um, it seems to be turning around. Doc's getting better in the faceoff circle, and that's huge. Again
Yeah.
tonight, he won 6, lost 6. So uh, anything around 50% on Doc after being 35% for his career up till now, that's good stuff. And speaking of good stuff that you came out tonight and
Oh.
joined us on uh,
Oh, thank
on a
you.
minute's notice there, Rick.
No,
And
thank you very much.
yeah, I don't want to be any longer because then I'm going to be spending another hour with you in frig in less than 12. So
Yeah,
you know
let's save something for tomorrow, my friend.
that's
But
right.
again, thank you for having me on. Thank you to everyone who's with us tonight. Really appreciate it. And stick around. Grant's gonna drop more knowledge. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, Rick. Have a good
Thank
night
you.
for sure.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Rick Springhetti, amateur scout for the Recruits HabsCast. Great guy. I met uh, I met Rick actually on HF boards or even the forum locker room. Does anybody ever go back to that? The Habs forum locker room. It was FLR. Um, he was on there, and it was kind of a tight knit group of Habs fans. And this would have been back around 2000, maybe even a little before that. And he was one of the guys on there that was respectful to me and agreed with me on occasion. I always like people that agree with me. So we became friends and started scouting together and have been good friends ever since. Great guy. Um, let's get to a few more comments here. There's lots of stuff coming in. Yeah. Um, Wayner, Line A who? Yeah. They're not missing them too much, are they? Yeah. Uh, who is he is a non-factor on this team in the future. Yeah. Um, okay, because Paul, you were talking about Slav, and then all of a sudden, yeah, okay, you're talking about Line A. All right. Um, let's see here. Sheldon, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like Slav is turning into a heck of a 200-foot player. He really is. You got to appreciate everything he does. Yeah, he's still, and I agree with his shot. Got to keep coming. It's funny whenever you see him practice there, Hudson feeding him the pucks, and he zings them top corner every time, the one timers, and then it gets into a game situation, and it's a different story. He fans on it or he misses. You know, he does have a really hard shot, and it can be accurate, but it's a different story when you got people, right in front of you. Um, you, you don't have that time. Like he's one timers. He's doing these one timers with nobody on the ice, nobody in front of him. And sure, he has a good release when given time and space. But I think part of it is too that he's still young and we have to. Hey, he does start getting that shot on target. He's not just going to get the garbage goals. He's going to score some others. I saw it in the Olympics and in his draft year at the World Championships. He scored some real beauties. He can do it. It's just to become more consistent, and I think it'll only keep getting better with Slav. We have to still remember that, hey, he's just a friggin' kid, you know. The sky's the limit. It's only going to get better. Wayne was wondering who's lighting it up in Laval. It's Davidson. I think he's right at the top as far as goal scoring in Laval. Sorry, in the AHL, right? He is one of the leading goal scorers. So I think he's got 7 now. I can quickly look this up, guys. I don't know if anyone uses flashscore.ca. It's a terrific site. I'll tell you in a couple minutes here. Okay. He's got 8 goals, which is ties him for second or third. Tied for third. Gushin, the Russian that played in the USHL. He's got 9. John Leonard's got 9. And he's tied with Nilsson. They each have 8, but Davidson's played 2 less games than Nilsson and a game less than the other guys. So in goals per game, he's just about first overall. He's just a shade below Gushin and Leonard when it comes to goals per game. Pretty impressive. Or actually, he might even have. No, I guess he's just a hair below those guys when it comes to goals per game. So Davidson's the man right now in that I think deserves a call up. He's I love Davidson. He scraps. He does it all. Good player. Gaza, Marty has his team playing awesome in the lanes. As a team, they're puck blocking juggernaut. Yes, they are. By the way, folks, if you become a member here, there's a join button. We'll bring you on. You just my email is grant@habscast.ca. Send me an email if you are a member or if you become a member, and we'll have you on post game to talk about the Habs. We're building a great community here, so you're more than welcome. I think it's $4.99 for a month or something to join. You also, if you do, you'll get a free membership to Patreon, my Patreon page, which is only going to be, I'm going to be posting all sorts of scouting videos, and there'll be lots of articles coming up as the year goes along. So 2 very good incentives for you to become a member here if it's so if it tickles your fancy. Glenn S., thanks for coming, Glenn. You always end up showing up late to the party here. Yeah, I liked Jack Eye's game tonight. Big hits, real good passing outlets. Yeah, he was passing well tonight. I thought he played within himself. He wasn't it wasn't a rugged, rough game. There was no tomfoolery, and when he's got his head in the game, that's good, you know, because sometimes he can, I don't know, he gets a little unfocused, and tonight he was playing hockey and played it well. Hey, he's a decent defenseman. The Canadiens have 7 NHL defensemen, and when Gooley's back, they'll have some decisions to make. I think they'll probably platoon Struble and him, and hopefully neither sits out a bunch. I didn't like that Struble sat out 6 or 7 to start the year, or however many it was. I thought he had a better preseason than Arbor, but the coaches thought differently. And anyway, I think he's played better overall than Jack Eye, but they're close. they're both they're both NHL caliber defensemen, I think, on most nights. Yeah, a little too patient with player decision like them and not being on power play one. Yeah, well, thanks, Wayne, but it, it was what, 7 games, 8 games. He did the same thing with Hudson, and it worked out okay. Let them sit back and watch for a bit. There's a certain amount of, I don't know, method to his madness there. I think he did the same thing with Lane, and then sprung him loose, right, and never looked back. I don't know that you do it. Zach Bolduc was the hottest goal scorer on the power play at the end of last year, and I think justifiably, Demidov had never scored an NHL power play goal, and so they gave him a look to start. Wasn't necessarily working out, so they brought in Demidov as he didn't start the year as dominant as he was 7-8 games in, and then he started to make some really nice plays, and then in overtimes and stuff. And Marty's seeing this. Okay, when there's more space on the ice for Demidov, he's pretty effective. So he's okay. We'll switch Bolduc and Demidov, and we'll make that switch. But it wasn't like it was 20 games in. He did it in the first 10 games, and yeah, we all wanted it after 2 games or before the season even started, but he did, to his credit, he didn't leave it too long. And again, we can't get too critical, I don't think, with a team, leading the East, second best record, tied for the best record in the NHL. So that's pretty good. Paul, I like the team's play thus far. Shooting percentage is high based on being 31 for shots are higher in net. Can they keep that pace up? No, they can't. And Kapanen, it's just like, yeah, he's on pace for 33 goals, but his shooting percentage is crazy good. And, suffice to say that he's probably not going to keep it up. But as Rick was saying, he's got a sneaky good shot, and I think his shooting percentage is going to remain pretty good this year. He also tips a lot of pucks, and he hasn't got any goals on his tips yet, but I think you'll see some of those as the year goes along too. Mark, is always nice here. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Yes, please do. And hype if you're on your mobile. Apparently that's good too. Victor Joseph, welcome to live chat. By the way, if you're watching on X, and I'm pretty sure quite a few people are, let me just see here. I don't know, 1,164 views. Okay, well, there's lots of you on X still. Join us over on YouTube. I've got the link up there, and chime in on the live chat. Everybody's welcome. Okay, glad to see Kapanen score a 6th goal. Habs might have the second center patience. Don't go overpaying a second center. Develop Kapanen. Yeah, thanks, Victor. I think you're a relative newcomer here, and hey, you're always welcome when you have comments like that, because I've been echoing that. I've been echoing that before the season even started. Michael Hage coming in, and other guys, Zarowski, another Demidov type of player. Yeah, there's some Demidov there. He's even he's taller, and it looks like he could be a center too. So the Canadiens are really looking good at center. I like Papanicus as well. I think he could be an NHL center. Owen Beck, it's funny, 2 years ago, second, third line, I thought he was top 3 center. But when you get good, and when a team develops and they become good, players that you know, at one point thought could be top 3 centers or top 9 players sometimes get bumped out of that spot. Like it's now Beck's almost like an afterthought when it comes to that. And if you asked me 2 years ago when he, you know, first line center on back-to-back teams that won OHL titles and won a freaking Memorial Cup or whatever, you know, played well at the World Juniors. He looked like he was going to be a top 3 center. And now you don't know that. Other guys have jumped ahead of him. Although I did always like Kapanen more, and I know people have never always thought I was a little crazy about that, but I've watched Kapanen closely for 3 years and thought always considered him a top 5 Habs prospect, and always considered him to be the most underrated prospect in the system. And he's starting to show that now. Luke Bailey, hey Luke, who would you guys try back up first? Davidson, Becker, maybe Tuck. Him and Anderson could be a good pair. Yeah, Tuck's maybe, Tuck. But I think Davidson's the one that deserves the call up. He's like I was just saying, he's tied for 3rd in goal scoring in the American League. He's been one of the most improved players over the past while. I think, you know, instead of Tuck, I think Jackeye would be. I think it'd be either Davidson or Jackeye who I would give a look if it was up to me right now. And yeah, I'd give one of those guys a look. Florian would be good on the 3rd line too, I think, right? Get him in there and give some energy to, or 4th line. I mean, I think he might be a good person to get in there, get a look. But for me, it would be Davidson at this point. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Kapanen right now, you know, the other guys are behind him, obviously. Well, time will tell. But, you know, 6 goals, 4 assists, and limited ice time on the power play, like Sheldon says. That's, you know, he's only getting, 12 minutes a game, 10 points. Like if you look at, I'll do some calculations on it, but points per 60 minutes for Kapanen has to be, I wouldn't doubt it if he's top 100, maybe top 50 in the league with 10 points, averaging 12 minutes a game. That's pretty impressive. Because you got to think, you know, a lot of center like Suzuki's 22 minutes a game, almost double. And, you know, Suzuki's top 10 scorer in the league, but he doesn't have triple the points of Kapanen. So I wouldn't doubt if Kapanen might be top 50 in points per 60 so far this year. And if you went even strength points per 60, definitely top 50 in the league. And for a rookie center, it's rare. He's, you know, I think people are starting to just clue into just how good this kid could be. And I feel good about that because I mean, I've touted him all year. I'm not going to gloat about it. I'm just going to say that I feel good about it. I'm glad that he's living up to the billing that I, you know, up to the billing that my billing. Nobody else's. I don't think. I think I was kind of on an island there going into the year. Grant, Rick, would you guys try to make another big offseason acquisition next summer? Well, we'll see what happens the rest of the year, right? Sorry, Rick can't answer that, but depends. Depends what, you know, depends how they do the rest of the year. If they win a cup or whatever, they probably don't need to do too much. I don't know if they'll win a cup, but you know what I'm saying. Now's not the time to be thinking about what they'll do in the off season. I don't think so. I can't really properly answer that for you right now. Apologies for that. Simon Fournier. Good evening, Grant. I just don't understand why Bulldog is not getting the ice time. Yeah, well, I think he's got like 2 points in the last 11 games or something like that. It, I saw a stat yesterday. It's like for somebody that's only got a handful of points. I'll look up his stats, but I know in the last 10, it's not a lot. And I think he did play like 15 minutes tonight. So I, I'll tell you in a minute here, but game logs. Bear with me here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's got a goal and an assist in his last 11 games going into tonight. So, you really think he should be getting more than 15 minutes that he got tonight? I don't think, like, I know what you're saying based on some past games, but I wouldn't be giving him more than 15 minutes when he's got 2 points. You know what I'm saying? In the last 12 games, he had 15:08 tonight. So no, a minute 47 on the power play and 15:08. That's more than reasonable considering that he has 2 points in his last 12 games. And he's playing with Dach, and Dach's hot. And it's not like they buried him on the fourth line or something. Not like he's playing with Anderson. Okay, I'll go for another 14 minutes and we'll wrap it up here. Yeah, somebody mentioning like, no, Demidov's not poor defensively. Astanex, I haven't seen many glaring defensive miscues from Demidov. I actually like his back check. Oh yeah, he competes his ass off. He's always been like that. Just got to learn, the defensive zone turnovers at times, but that's a kid with a lot of confidence. Sometimes he's just learning how good NHL checkers are. That you can't do things that you could always get away with necessarily, and it's a learning process. But there's no issue with his forechecking, back checking effort. It's always been great. Kid's got a motor. One of the many things to like about Demidov. Let's see what else here. New hook, forecheck, back check have been phenomenal. Yeah, I agree. Hey, keep that line together, right? 10, 12, and 12 points. You know how long it's been that the Canadiens had 3 players that were on pace for 50, 55 plus points in a season on their second line? I looked up the stats. It was 82, 83, 81, 82. So, and they're not even getting second line minutes. They're playing like third, fourth line minutes. So I would keep them together. Don't break, don't fix what ain't broke. That's what I'm trying to say. Geez, I'm on my first beer and I can't talk already. Ed just keeps coming up with the stats here. Since October 15th, Montreal's been second in offense with 3.8 goals per game. Only Anaheim is better. Yeah. Well, I bet you their shooting percentage is by far the best because they haven't been getting a pile of shots yet. The last 10 games, they're or 8 or whatever it is, they're right at the top in offense. No, they're Canadiens have one of the better one of the more skilled teams in the league, and one of the better offenses for sure. Ramelli, thanks for joining us here. Should the CH try to find a winger instead of a two? Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah, that I floated that out there the other day. That the sure going into the year it looked like it was center, but things can change. The guys that are playing center are playing well, so hey, if they're playing well, then you look elsewhere, right? And right now with line A out, there's a spot there. There's a top 9 spot for sure for somebody. So yeah, I definitely would but don't forget though too, you can pick up a center and Dach can move to a wing, or centers can always play on the wing too. So you can get a player that's kind of both, that plays both center and wing. I think one of the main reasons why people want to pick up another center, and if they do, I'm pretty certain that it'll be a left center, because as Rick keeps harping on, the Canadiens don't have a left center right now, so it's handy when you're taking draws on their strong side to have a guy that can take them, that shoots left every now and then. But the Canadiens are getting away with it, right? The face-off stats, they've been above 500. So again, if it ain't broke, don't be trying too hard to fix it. They're finding ways, even with no left center. Celebrini scored again. He's good. Yeah, well, we knew that. I mean, as much as I love Demidov, and I did, I still ranked Celebrini first overall. So that tells you just how much I love Celebrini. Kids got it all. Frederick C. NCAA has some weak conferences and bad programs. Goalie stats there need to be taken with a grain of salt. Yeah. But what Fowler has going for him too, Frederick, he's always had great stats. Youngstown in the USHL, phenomenal. NCAA, phenomenal. Laval, his stats been very good, so it bodes well for him. I think he's got a better head on his shoulders than Primo. There are less question marks with his mental, approach to the game, and I think at the end of the day that he's not going to, when he does finally come up and he will get an NHL look, I suspect that we'll see a better goalie than what we did with Primo when he came to the NHL. I think he's got the better mindset for it. Yeah. Okay, Vissy. Don't really, not crazy about people saying don't. I can do whatever I want. It's my show, Sure, I can use him as an example. I can use lots of goalies as an example. The fact is that Levi his stats blew you away, and Sabres' defense aren't that bad. Just he was crap when he played nets in the NHL. Go look at his stats. It's not the Sabres' fault. You know what it is too, to a certain degree, is height. We're finding it with Wolf now. Teams have figured it out and shooting it over his shoulder. Like when you're getting screened and you're a 5'10", 5'11" goalie, and shots get through, they go over your shoulder. That won't happen with a 6'4" goalie. It's unfortunate, but it's reality of playing in the NHL. They're better shooters, and they can put it over your shoulder. Whereas in In college, only a few people can, and in AHL, only a few can. But little different story with him as far as height, I think would be what made it would be what would make it different. But like I say, I mean, I don't appreciate when people say, "Oh, don't," Hey, sure I will. I didn't say it just out of my ass. It's a valid point that there are a lot of college goalies that are fantastic, and they can't duplicate it in the NHL. And Levi is a prime example. So is Primo. I could name a bunch more, but there. I mean, what Dryden McKay is. We'll see with him. We'll see with a bunch of them that just put up fantastic stats in college over the past. If you look back in the past decade, goalies that put up the best stats in college hockey, most of them aren't in the NHL. There are very few, and Levi is a recent example. And it's not just coincidence. Can't just blame it on Buffalo or whatever. Roy Meyer, I think we should try and pick up Dylan Strome. Yeah. Well, I think Roy, it's what does Washington think, right? If they're in a playoff spot right now, are they not? Let's have a look here. Or are they just out? Okay. Leafs are, well, they're right there, but I mean, he's what? First line center on the Caps. I don't think it's what the Caps want, not what the Canadiens want. I don't think that the Caps would be looking to trade him, unfortunately. But again, I'm not sure that's the right fit either. Like, we need a good two-way center in your second line spot. And right now, Kapanen is filling that perfectly. Modano for Suzuki? No. Modano was a better skater, bigger, different type players. Suzuki a lot better defensively too. I don't see that as a good comp. You don't always have to have a comp. Like, that's something. Oh, who do you compare this guy to? Sometimes you don't compare them to anybody. Like, they're just unique. Pizzetta, Blake, Primo, Lisa. Reason why Primo got his last NHL chance, I believe. Yeah. Well, I commented. Trey Lehman has a crush on Kent Hughes. I commented that he's in the offseason he's trying to get Dick Irvin back to do play-by-play. Yeah, that's for sure. No, this is a good point by Chris Hansen. Fowler is very common in that, just like Price. Yeah, I think. Although Primo at one point seemed like he was pretty calm too. It just when he get to the NHL, he'd have the jitters. It just his confidence. He let in a goal and that'd be it. 6 goals and no points for Hudson. You won't see that very often. That's true, Denise, we have the odd gal that comes in and joins us. Thank you, Denise. Excellent analysis of what makes a good center. Thank you. I appreciate you coming in, and I appreciate the kind words. Wow, I can't believe how many people are on here tonight. We're up 1,600 people have joined us tonight, and that's just fantastic. It's going to inspire me to continue to do the Saturday night games. That's just it's so encouraging. Thank you, everyone, and please go to YouTube channel and like the episode if you don't mind. Subscribe. Every bit helps. It doesn't, you don't get sent emails or get spam or anything for doing it. Doesn't cost you anything. all it does is help me. So if you can, please do subscribe and please do like this episode. It would be much, much appreciated. Kapanen has critics. No, no one's ever criticized Kapanen. Everyone thought he was. They've been saying he's a top 2 center all year. Yeah, yeah. Um, the headline says silence his critics, meaning that he had critics. So not has critics. Randien had critics. Yes, Kapanen, it's fair to say, had critics. Thanks for joining us, Randien. You're new here, but I don't know that I would say, that he didn't have critics, because yes, it's fair to say that Oliver Kapanen has had critics. Slav can learn from Suzuki. Both are thick trunks built like brick outhouses. Yes. Well, and Suzuki can learn from Slav too. He wishes he could dominate physically like Slav does sometimes. Kapanen can switch hands just for face-offs. Yeah, Cappy. I don't know if you saw the practice there last week. He has a great one-timer with shooting the wrong way. He's pretty ambidextrous. That's a good point, Denise. Cappy's going to become a really, really good face-off man. Crosby or Horvat? Yeah, well, we'll see. Right now, they don't need anyone. Right now, just ride the wave, guys. Seems like it's always becomes the dominant topic in these is, all right, what center are they going to pick up when 6 goals from centers the last 2 games? Both Dach and Kapanen on pace for more than 30 goals. Suzuki on pace for 100 points. Right now, Confucius say, don't need center. Habs took 26 games to win 10 last year, already 10 after 15. You know what? I'll drink to that. Oh, I needed that. All right, folks. You got a few more questions. I can't even keep up to all these questions. We must have got 500 comments in here. New people. Roger McLaughlin. You called it. Kapanen looks like he's for real. Yeah, well, this isn't a gloat show. Yeah, thank you. I did. I seem to be right. Even a blind squirrel can find the odd nut, as they say. Joshua Levine. Newark is a surprise of the year. Yes. He could have 60 points with a healthy season. And yeah, and justify why he was a top 20 pick, right, in that draft class. Yeah, he's I agree. And thanks, Josh, for tuning in here. 24, Habs 25. Did Slav finally shorten his stick this year? I don't know. You know what I'll do? I'm in touch with his dad by direct message on occasion. I haven't touched base with him for a while, but that's something he'll probably answer. He tries not to, he stays in the background for the most part. I tried to get him on a podcast and he wouldn't do it, but I'll ask him. His dad would probably be able to tell me. And tune in to another HabsCast and you'll get the answer. Oh, I like this. Clap for the cap man. You're gonna rate your record high. Clap for the Cap Man. I'm never gonna get that out of my head now when I'm watching Cappy. Thunder Gods. I love how Slav has stopped the critics he had in his first year. He's shown them to be wrong. He is a good player. Yeah, well, that's another one that I guess you could say I was right about. If you know, I safe to say that I liked Slav in his draft year. I called it. Slav. I think I put him first overall in January of that year, and I mean, I got it. I think I even got death threats for not having right first overall anymore. It was crazy how many people, the vitriol that I faced, like it was toxic, bad. And I mean, people, it was so ingrained in their skulls that, the media drilled it in. And then even right up till like April, they're saying, Shane Wright, who is the consensus, pick to go first overall. So, I kept saying, well, no, he's not consensus. Watch him. Wright's not playing well. He's not developing. This Slav kid is, you know. And I mean, NHL guys, we'd all go to the rink and watch Wright and look at each other and shake our heads and say, this guy is just not like he's loafing. And I went to the draft. It was in Montreal that year. And I did not go into the rink till after Slav was picked because I honestly didn't think that I was safe. I sat in La Cage with Tony and Yellow, Sammy, watched the first few picks in La Cage instead of sitting in the seat, because if Wright would have been picked first, I'm not sure how people would have reacted to me, because it was bad. It was really bad. Just the hatred that I was facing for not having Shane Wright ranked first overall. And I mean, this is just, it's a draft. It's hockey. Like, people were just a little too crazy about it. And I sat there and like in tears. And the guy was saying, "Are you crying?" When they picked Slafkovsky, all the emotion of the last 4 months, all of the hatred that I had faced, all of the name calling, people blocking me, media people disowning me, everything, just the relief I felt at that point was just, it was just unexplainable, just how emotionally spent I was, but relieved that the Canadiens picked Slafkovsky and not Shane Wright, because I swore up and down that that was the right pick and that they'd be making a mistake by taking Shane Wright. People started to come around the last month or so. I think enough, finally some of the media started to say, well, maybe it'll be Slav. But and I kept saying, wait till Bob McKenzie comes out with his final list. And sure enough, he had it tied, with the votes. And again, but I talked to a lot of good scouts too, and there was only one that thought Wright would still go first overall. They all said, no, you don't pick. It'd be Cooley or Slav first, and that's how it turned out. But yeah, that was quite a. And then I go into the arena, 3 or 4 picks in, and people recognizing me, and you were right, and sorry about that. And a lot of people apologizing to me. I called your names on social media and this and that, and people were nice after that. But if Wright had been picked, I don't know how people would have reacted to me, and I didn't want to find out. That that's true story. It's true confession here on a Saturday night. Daniel Thornton, I've been a big Slav fan since day one. I'm really pleased with him this year. Some of the board battles he wins are fantastic. Yeah. And that back check today. Oh my goodness. The first period, fantastic. He's just getting better and better. Yeah, I if you missed the start of the show, I put up I talked about Davidson's point goal totals. He's tied for third in the league, which is fantastic. He is skating better too. Yeah. Hey, here's another good stat. Ed, you keep coming up with them, buddy. Get you. Gonna have to get you as the HabsCast official statistician. Habs are second lowest in giveaways. Only Rangers have fewer per game. There you go. That's a big one. Slater, I do not follow the Trois-Rivières Lyon. No, just not enough hours in the day, my friend. KB Webb, hey, welcome to HabsCast. I have a theory that they purposely separated Demidov and Bolduc on the power play, keep them spring-loaded for when they get paired together 5-on-5. That's interesting. I'm not sure what this is. What's that mean? Not sure. Kapanen now has great value for a trade. Yeah, okay. Imagine a Bruins fan, eh? And Patrice Bergeron's rookie year. Oh, now he's got great value for a trade. Look at this great young two-way player. Let's trade him. Only in Montreal would you get that logic sometimes. Thanks, PMB. I disagree. Oh, here's a question. John B. Grant, what do you think is the strongest Hab pound for pound? Who is the strongest pound for pound? It might be Hudson. Strongest pound for pound. Kid's wiry. It's only like 155, 160 pounds. But you see him win puck battles against 200-pound guys. Pound for pound, right? Struvel's the strongest, but he weighs about 210, 205. Like he's 6 foot, 205. He's probably, I think Struvel's, the strongest. Jackie's up there too, and so is Anderson, but they're 235 pounds, right? But pound for pound, that might surprise people, but it could well be Hudson. He's really surprised me with how well he can battle against guys 50 pounds heavier than him. Yes, he did. I think he's done though. What did we get here? A new member, Joshua Levine, became a new YouTube member. Right on, Josh. Send me an email, grant@habscast.ca. If you want to come on a post-game show or a live show sometime, we'll get you on, my friend. I really appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Means a lot to me. I want to, the more members, the better. The more people we can have on, the better. Let's build something special here. Habs World, not knocking the kid. He's doing great. Yeah. Well, his shooting percentage is great. A great third line center like a Bennett. Well, Bennett's a second line center. Bennett's been the second line center on the last 2 cup winners. So if you want to call that a third line center, sure. Cap's going to be a great third line center too. Hopefully he can be a third line center in the second line on 2 straight cup winners like Bennett. Bennett was lights out, the best player in the last 2 playoffs. Best player. So if Kapanen can be that, and you want to call that third line center, okay. I'll go for that, my friend. Thanks, Habs World. I appreciate the always nice to sit down with the boys, have a beer, and talk hockey. Paul Cake. So have your cake and eat it too, right, Paul? Or have your beer and drink it too. Thanks, my friend. Of players with 10 NHL games, Kapanen is 10th in the NHL in points per 60, even strength. See, there you go. I said top 50 on like just not even strength, but just overall. But I was curious about even strength. So he's 10th in the NHL in points per 60, even strength. He's ahead of Bedard, Celebrini, Stützle, Scheifele, and Nathan MacKinnon. But hey, third line center, right? He's a freaking rookie in the NHL. Guys, he's underrated. People gotta like. I have to. This has to be. Ed, send that to me. Grant at HabsCast.ca. Send me that. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a snapshot of that right now. Send it to myself. Don't worry, I've got it. You don't have to do it, Ed. Thank you. Cappy. All right. Well, I had a feeling he was high. You know, I thought top 50 for sure, but like top 50 just overall in points per 60 because he's only averaging 12 minutes a game. But even strength, I figured it was maybe top 30. 10th overall. Okay. That's even better than I figured. Thanks, Ed. That's great. Most underrated player in the league, Cappy. Oh, geez, I'm up to there's so many people weighing in. I'm going to go for 2 hours here. What the hell, guys? LJ Mooney, 1 goal, 1 assist tonight. Thanks, Johnny. Johnny Golden, it's about time we saw you in here, my friend. A goal and an assist for LJ. LJ is such a... I don't know if there'll be a spot in Montreal for him, but you know, the Canadiens just have so many good young players. Middlestat had a goal tonight too. Again, he's about 10th on the depth chart on left defense, but he's turned into a really good college defenseman too. I'd like to see them, Mark. I'd like to see the Habs hold on to the players who have a solid team. Only Crosby would interest me, and we won't get him sadly. You know, yeah, maybe Horvat, Crosby or Horvat. Really, at this point, one of the two. Rylan O'Reilly. Guys, did you not see Ed's stat just there? You know, Oliver Kapanen's 55% on faceoffs. He's 10th in the league in even strength, goals per season. And there's still people, oh, but Ryan O'Reilly or, you know, and his $8 million salary versus Kapanen and his $900,000 salary, top 10 in even strength, points per 60, 55% on faceoffs. Only going to get better while O'Reilly, who said in his post-game conference he's only had 1 good year in the NHL. Yeah, no, I'll stand pat if I had a choice, Ryan O'Reilly or standing pat at this point. Yeah, we were talking about Primo getting picked up. The reason is Carolina picked him back up because they they were the team that lost him. Nobody else put in a waiver claim, and they knew that would happen. But because of that, they were able to send him back down to the minors, where I'd be afraid that Caden is destined to be for the rest of his $10 from Francois Bedard. Thank you for staying late, Grant. Oh my goodness. Almost made enough to buy a case of beer for the next time, guys. Thanks, Francois. I appreciate the $10. That's where is right here. $10. Wow. Thanks for staying late, Grant. Francois, you're the best, my friend. Thank you for the stipend. I love it. Habs 24. Anyone else notice? I'll even go a little later, guys. If Brig, $10. Wow. I haven't made $10 in 6 months. Anyone else notice Hudson playing high like a forward in the D zone a couple times? Yeah. Yeah, he likes to come out. He chases the guy right back to the blue line a lot, eh? Okay, what's this here? Hudson is ACC, a great comp. I'm sorry, I'm not quite getting that. Thrawn, hey, there's a new name. Well, yeah, he was a 5th or 6th round pick, so he exceeded expectations, right? There was a lot of hope. Yeah, well, hey, he played in the World Juniors, had 2 really good years in the queue. Like, yeah, he came on. Oh, Sheldon, okay, thanks, buddy. Overtime pay, $5. All right, thanks, guys. $15. That's $7.50 an hour now. That's fair. Thanks, guys. 24 Habs 25. Anyone else notice Hudson playing high like a 4? Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys. That's a repeat. Yeah, well, sure, they're nice stats, but that's right. He's right there, right around Celebrini. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves with Celebrini either. Good point. There's 2 ways of looking at it, right? All these guys, but Cappy's playing great hockey so far. Will he keep it up at this pace? No, probably not. But he's underrated. I'll say it. I'll just keep saying it, and it holds true. The thing is, he was doing well when he was on the PP. Bolduc. The thing is, though, he had 1 goal on the PP. Are you saying that Demidov shouldn't be on the first power play? I'm not really sure what you're getting at with that. Bolduc has not. I'm sorry, but they're using him just fine. I think he was a 4th liner last year. Like, he's 22 years old. Let's not get ahead of ourselves with him. Like, at the end of the day here, what's Zach Bolduc averaging in ice time for the season? I bet you it's more than Kapanen. And is he playing better than Kapanen? I don't think so. Started off the season well, but okay, we're on the game log there. He's averaging 13.09, and Kapanen's averaging even less than that. So, no, I think he's averaging same as Demidov. So, I don't know what. Like, let's not be in a huge rush with Bolduc here. He's 2 points in his last 12. He doesn't deserve to be playing more than 13 minutes a game right now. He's playing okay, but construct comments over negatives, give them a counter argument. Not really good idea, and tell the host what they can or can't do. Yeah, I have to say I do get a little pissed off at that when do this, do that. Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, well, yes, I can. I'm the boss here. Haswell, Grant, I got a question for you. Will Demidov outproduce Lafleur? Well, it depends how many years he plays, right? But will he have 6 straight 100-point seasons, 6 straight 50-goal years like Guy? Like, no, I don't think so. That's putting a little too much. Uh, but I mean, if he plays 15 years at top of his game, 15 to 20 years, Guy was kind of it was a bit more meteoric, right? He had a 10 years where he was great and then retired and then came back type thing. No, I wouldn't. Did I see someone else here? Thrawn. Geez, Thrawn. Now you made yourself enough to buy a Pabst Blue Ribbon 24-pack, Grant. Wow. Up to $24. Guys, this is I don't know what to say. I really appreciate the support. It's kind of cool. Thank you. It's brings a tear to my eye. I'll drink to that. Beer tastes even better when it's free. Now I consider that to be free. Thrawn, you see, I'll answer more of your questions now, Thrawn, because you sent me $9. See, membership has its privileges. How about the 200-foot game of Caulfield? Yeah, isn't he playing great? I was on a podcast with Snake a couple of years ago on Tony's, and he's saying, and it was only a couple of years ago, saying, "Oh, he's a one-trick pony. All he does is stand there and shoot." And I was, no, he's a good playmaker. He's, the rest of his game was evolving and he was getting better and better, but he's always been able to pass. Him and Hughes had great chemistry back in the U18 days. He underrated passer. He's always been an underrated passer, and good skater, good, hard to knock down. There were a lot of elements to his game that were always pretty good, and I think underrated because always 5'7", and yeah, he's got that great shot from the left side, but no, he's just. I've always known that there was more to his game than just shooting the puck, and it's only, I mean, it's gotten better with time, but he I think he was his all-around game was underrated a couple of years ago, and it's only evolved with time. I'm glad that Dom Ducharme got replaced, though. Put it that way. Thrawn, I always thought Roy was a nothing pick. Yeah, for sure. Oh, sorry, that's a double. Ed, you're indispensable, my friend. Gonna have to star you more often here. Of NHL defensemen with 10 games, Noah Dobson is first in the NHL in points per 60 on even strength. Yeah. Talk about an underrated player, right? And it's been recent too that he's been starting to pick up on the point totals. Carrier is 13th and Hudson 17th. There you go. That's another great stat. You know what, Ed? I'm going to take a snip of this too. Good stuff for later. Maybe I'll post that on Twitter. I probably have a bigger following than you on Twitter, so we'll get it out here. If you're on Twitter, you can like it, repost it, Ed, and I'll know who you are on Twitter. Maybe you can post who you are on Twitter if you are on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. Jessica Ann Marie Anderson. We've actually had a handful of gals on tonight. Thank you, Jessica Ann Marie Anderson. Will Cole get get better than 50 goals or get 50 goals? I think Cole Caulfield will get 50 goals this year. I thought at this point last year that he'd get 52, and he cooled down after he had the exact same start this year, but 2 more tonight, right? No, I mean, playing with Suzuki, and Suzuki just keeps getting better and better too, and Slav keeps getting better and better. Being on the first power play, I think the fact that Laine's gone, right, that affected him last year. He lost his spot on the left wall, and that's his bread and butter. That's where he does most of his work on the power play. He, although he is moving around a lot more this year, I find, but yeah, I think they're a better team too, and Cole comes up big when the game's on the line, right? He's a winner. He was that way in with the U.S. development program, and he's that way now. I think he hits 50 for sure this year. Wouldn't be shocked if he toys with 60. I mean, he set records, right? He scored more goals than Austin Matthews with the development program, and Matthews is a 60-goal scorer. Kid's got special. He's got a special talent for scoring goals, and I think he gets 50 this year. And wouldn't surprise me if he won the Rocket Richard. I think he's in the running all year, and I hope it'd be so nice for someone from the same team as who the trophy's named after winning it for the first time would be kind of cool, right? I think it's time. Jason, if he got empty nets like a lot of top scorers, he'd score 50 easy. Yeah, that's true. Habs defenseman have 45 points ahead of Ottawa, 39 points. Quite impressive. It's crazy. Thank you guys for the cash. How long do you want to go here? I can go a little longer, I guess. I almost feel obligated now. I've got a half a beer. How about I go to my beer's done? Does that sound fair? If you're sticking around, we're up to 1666. Hey, it's Saturday night, right? Thrawn, I still remember the years where guys like Semin, Martinson, King were our big pickups. I know, hey. That disappointed me so a year when Canadiens were like near the top of the standings, and King, Martinson, Steve Ott, right? The 3 big pickups by Berge that won that at the trade deadline that year. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, I guess he wants to lose in the first round, second round, or whatever it was. I think it was the first. But Martinson was horrible. King was no better. That was remember that lunch bag letdown at that trade deadline. I'll tell you that. Brock Nelson. Yeah, that's a good point. Don't forget these teams too, when they were picking up, they needed them, right? And if Dach and Kapanen just keep improving, and they're like on pace for 30 goals as the middle line centers, they're winning 50% of their draws. They're playing well defensively, especially Kapanen. Why would you trade one of your top prospects in a first round pick for Nazem Kadri and his $8 million, or Riley and his $8 million when they're on the downside of their careers? It just, might upset the chemistry of the team. a lot of times these pickups don't end up, only one team wins the cup, right? And it upsets chemistry in the locker room sometimes too. Like, I don't know, you've got a guy playing really well at second line center, and you bring in this guy on the downside. You pay a big price for him. He takes the guy's spot when really he doesn't deserve to, but because of his reputation from, he won a cup 6 years ago or something. I don't know. I just it can backfire on you, and I think the Canadiens are a tight knit group. And would I overpay for a veteran? I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer. We'll see. I think the Canadiens will do things at the trade deadline, but I mean, they have such the youngest team in the league, right? If you're at the top of the standings and you're at one of the youngest teams or the youngest team in the league, and these players are only going to be improving, sometimes it's best almost to just let things be, right? Why mess with it? So I don't know. I'm torn a bit on that. Like, some of the teams that have done well in the playoffs are ones that didn't make a lot of, big splash at the trade deadline to pick up players. It's not always a guarantee that it's going to work for you. Let's see. Someone else asking if he cut his stick length down. I'm not sure. Like I say, I'm going to ask his dad and see if he'll tell me. We are in communication here every now and then. Yeah, that's a good point, Thrawn. Centers are a rarity, and Bettman wants to expand. Yeah. Habs fanatic. Grant, do you think the Habs are legit, or do you think they're overperforming so far? Well, who are the great teams in the East, right? Yeah, I think they're every bit as good as, like, talent-wise now. There's not a team when they play in the East that you say, oh, they can't win that game. I think they're for real. I do. They're as skilled as any team. They're as fast as any team. They're scoring as many goals as any team. The only question mark is goaltending, and hopefully Monty's getting that figured out, right? So yeah, I'd say yes, that they are for real, and I don't think that they're overperforming. Denise, thanks, Denise. Calder winners. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Hudson 2025, Demidov 2026, Fowler 2027, Zurowski 2028. You know what? Like, Calder finalists, maybe, for those four. The odds that they all win the Calder might be a little wishful thinking. I mean, Schaefer's fantastic, right? He's got to be the prohibitive favorite to win the Calder right now. He's got 5 goals, and he's matching Demidov in points basically as an 18-year-old defenseman. And I think that they always, if it's close, if two players are close in points, and not just the defense forward thing, but one's younger than the other, one's 18, Demidov's going to be turning 20. They kind of give the edge to the younger player. typically. So, but hey, Demidov still could be an 80, 90 point scorer this year. I mean, he's got that potential, and he might win the Calder. Is Fowler with the team next year? I don't know. We'll see, but it's a possibility. Then Jarosky the year after, yeah. Well, they might someday be in the running for the Calder. It's a bright future in Montreal. There's no two ways about it. You just you can't deny it. Hey, Karim, there's another member. Thank you. Thank you for showing up finally, Karim. You only you wake up at midnight or what? Do you move Dach up to the second line? Kapanen, we just had Ed mentioning that he's of all players with 10 games, Kapanen is 10th, Newhook 21st, Demidov 38th, and Kirby Dach is 48th in the NHL in points per 60 at even strength. Tonight's game not included. Kapanen had 2 more points tonight, so Cappy might be like top 8 now. I think he's better defensively than Dach too. So I don't know. Does that answer your question? The second line, all 3 are top 40 in points per 60. So I'd keep it the way it's going. Roll with her. Just roll with it, baby. That's Ed, you keep coming up with these. I'm going to snip this one too. I should send all of these little things to Renaud Lavoie. I'm sure he appreciate it. I was a little disappointed there when, I don't know if anyone else noticed, but when I mentioned that I thought that Kapanen had a legitimate shot to center Demidov and be the second line center, he just sent a tweet with rolling eyes, and it's just it bothered me. I said, "Oh, thanks for your in-depth explanation as to why you disagree." Right? It just showed little respect for the amount of work that I put into scouting. I do work hard at scouting. I have watched Kapanen. I watched Kapanen 100 times probably as a prospect. Like, worked hard at it, and I had an informed opinion that this kid's underrated. He's got second line potential, upside. Not saying that that's guaranteed, but that's his upside to be a second line center, at worst as third line center. And Renaud Lavoie probably watched 0 games of his, in his last year at junior, is in Finland, in the Finnish league, in Liga, and Sweden. But roll his eyes, and because the narrative, is, oh no, he couldn't be top 2, top 3 center. Well, show a little more respect for somebody that actually scouts these guys and puts the work in and has an informed opinion, and not just scoff at it like he did. I'm never going to respect the man for what he did there, and I haven't said a lot about it, but that bothered me. And I hope that he's eaten his words or his emoji now, because that was not called for, especially when you're both in the media and someone else. I don't do that to other people in the media. It's disrespectful, and it's unprofessional. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Thrawn, I still feel Habs need to improve their overall team defense and get a little more growl in their game. Yeah, probably. For playoff time, that's a good point, Thrawn. I can't disagree with you there. Colette Cole. See, the girls are starting to show up here a bit now. That's good. I assume it's a girl, Colette. Demi didn't have as many minutes because of Habs penalties. That's a good point. He's not on PK, but his line mates are. Yeah. No, that's right. That's why he didn't play as much as the other two. When you look at it here, I've got the stats. Even strength. I'll take you off here, Colette. Even strength, he was 11-12. Cappy was 12-21. Not very close, right? Newhook 12-40. So basically, pretty damn close, right? Actually, though, when you look at the power play time, Demi had two. What do you have? He had 206, and Kapanen didn't have any. So there's that as well. Les Fowler has a killer season and stats. I doubt he wins the Calder. Yeah, well, Jim Carrey, net detective. Yeah, remember Jim Carrey? Washington, and he was like disappeared the next season. And I agree. If Engstrom had more snarl in his game, he'd be ahead of Struble at Jackeye. Yeah, well, he doesn't though. Not at this point. DYT, cherry on top tonight, Leafs lost. Take a big drink for that one. We got any Leaf fans in here? I'm thinking not. $24 Habs, 25. Love when you get riled up. That's exactly how I get too. Hey, I got some Irish in me. What can I say? I wear my heart on my sleeve. Not going to change now. Michael Todd. Hey, this is a good point too, Michael. Thank you. Kapanen has a great family pedigree. Those sons of former NHLers learn a lot growing up in the game. That's a very good point. And his uncle Sammy, right? Cousins. They're, I think even the grandfather, like, it goes back, right? It's quite a lots of pedigree there for sure. And he's learned from a great hockey culture. The Finns too. You gotta love, 5 million population or something like that. They're and fantastic people. Finns are top of the food chain when it comes to if I had to list favorite countries, Canada, Finland, Sweden, right at the top. But the Finns even ahead of the Swedes. Great character. I think they per capita they drink more beer than any other nation too, and that puts them right there at the top for me too. Look it up. I read that stat before. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. No wonder they're such good folk. I'll have another drink. To the Finns. Yeah, what's his name? Rob Ramage tell me, we've had some good conversations and just talking about how great when he goes to Finland and Kapanen invited him and made him a meal and all that, and just talked about how how great a kid he is. And you could see him too. He's a pretty serious kid. And in the first month, they're pretty stoic, but he's been getting more and more. You see him smiling more and more all the time. And Demi, he's sitting there beside Demi with that fine grin that he's got there. Like he's just, I think it rubs off on the other guys, and Cappy's opening up more and more and smiling a lot more. There's good chemistry growing between those two guys, I think. Yeah, his grandfather, like I say, was a hell of a player too. It's like Sammy, Chemo, Kasperi, Consta. Yeah, no, there's it's it's a hockey family through and through, and great character guys too, all of them. So, can you name the 3 Habs that were part of the Smurf line? The Smurf line? Oh, fuck. Well, Mats Naslund would be one of them, I'd say. Frig. I should know that. No. Wasn't Shell Darlene wasn't part of that, was he? Naslund, Savard, and I don't know. What's the answer? Oh, okay. Bure. Valerie Bure, Saku, and Oleg Petrov. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Good question. You got me. Don't be asking me trivia questions at 12:27, okay? All right, guys. We're coming up on 2.5 hours. Hasn't been any more cash come flowing in here, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here in a couple of minutes. I've got like 1 drink left, so I saw Petrov open his paycheck when my dad took me to the Forum for a practice. There you go. Yeah, I know Dahlin was pretty, well, sort of like he was 6 foot or something, but he was a skinny friggin' rig. I considered him a Smurf. Montreal Sports 79. Geez, getting guys in here at the last minute. Thanks for joining us. Maybe an oddball question. Would Rasmus Anderson be a good fit beside? Yeah, but who comes out with I don't know, with Goalie back in? I think Goalie be a good fit. Reinbacher too. Let's not forget about Reinbacher. I have a feeling by trade deadline he might be as good an ad as any guy that you're going to be able to pick up. He looked really good last night, 3rd period. He's coming. Don't worry. I think by February you're going to see a kid that's really rock and rolling. You are still going. I'm 33 minutes behind. Yeah, it's a good long one. Eh? Oh boy. All right, folks. I think this is a new record. 2 hours, 23 minutes. Ed's still coming up with the. Ed, are you? I don't know. You're not drinking, or you like taking amphetamines, or what? With Habs at 22 points in 15 games, projects to 120. Yeah, well, I predicted before the year that I thought they could be a 100-point team and win the Atlantic, and it's looking like that's a distinct possibility here. They're certainly on pace. So the last 67 games now, they only need 78 points. What's the win percentage of that, Ed? Quickly. 67, so what? 134 divided by 78, right? Or no. Yeah. 67 games, so 134 divided by 78. Like, they don't even have to be 600 the rest of the year to get 100 points. So that's not bad. Oh, we got a few people weighing in at the last. Would Goalie or for Anderson be too much to send out? You like Rasmus Anderson a little more than I do, I think, Montreal sports. No, I wouldn't trade Goalie for Anderson. I like Goalie as a fit for Hudson until Reinbacher's ready. What are the chances Ed's a Habs AI lol? I hadn't thought about that. Da, 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 da. Yeah, wild card's only 4 points from us. It's very tight. No, that's right. Yeah. Roy, I don't believe Gordon and Hughes will trade or overpay for an aging center. They are probably looking to overpay for a younger center with upside. But what younger center is going to be better than Kapanen and Dach? Or Kapanen? Like, again, we keep underrating Oliver Kapanen. Ed put up stats there, Roy. He's top 10 in points per 60 minutes, even strength, in the entire NHL. So, what? Get a younger center just because? Like, at some point, I really hope that people start to say, wait a sec, maybe Kapanen's the answer, right? I think he is. So, people can keep asking me this. Like, I don't know. It seems like, there's about 50 centers or 100 centers that people would think that the Canadiens should trade for that, to replace Kapanen. At some point I hope that he stops being underrated. Like, are we going to be looking at Kapanen, the first center since Austin Matthews has scored 28 goals, the first killing penalties, 55% face-off percentage, and people saying, well, can we trade for somebody to replace this Kapanen guy? Like, I just, you know what I mean? Sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side. Usually it's not. It's the same grass. And speaking of grass, I gotta go. And it is 2:28 into it. And we're going to wrap her up right there, guys. Thank you for everything. Thank you for hanging out for 2.5 hours, some of you, and keeping me up. I guess I thank you for that. 12:34. Okay. Have we had enough? I've had enough. Thanks, guys. And geez, I got to get ready. I still have to get clips ready and a prospect of the week for my 10 o'clock show with Rick, which probably going to be postponed till 11 now because I stayed up too late talking with you folks. So I hope you can catch Rick and I are going to have prospect of the week. He went to the Laval game last night. He's going to talk about Reinbacher. few other guys. Hope you can watch that episode. If you haven't liked or subscribed already, please do so. Tyler, personally, I think this team makes a move for a C. It'll be to strengthen the C core. Yeah, and I think the playoffs, that's a smart move. Cap's still a rookie. He's going to have mistakes. Fair enough. Tyler, you have a good night too, and appreciate you. Okay, we hit 2:30. That's it. No mas, as Roberto Duran would say. Good night, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Hit like, hit subscribe. Have a great night.